All right, let's do this. We are the Chad and Cheese Podcast. I'm your co-host, Joel Cheeseman. Joined as always, Chad Sowash is in the shotgun seat. And this is the Sessions AI Frontline series. And we welcome Allyn Bailey, Senior Director of Communications at SmartRecruiters. Allyn, welcome to HR's Most Dangerous Podcast.
I am so excited to be here. I feel like I haven't seen you guys in so long.
What?
Well, I see
We
you all
were
the
just
time.
in
I haven't
Madrid
talked
together.
to you on a couch in a very long time.
She's guilting us already. Already
I
the
was
guilt
fine.
trip.
I
Already the
literally,
guilt
I
trip.
just,
Like-
I went to Madrid for her. Okay,
You did,
so
you did, but I don't talk to you guys very much anymore. I feel like I'm not in the talking
blame
space
you.
anymore.
I blame you.
Well, let's talk
Yeah.
now. Let's talk
Okay,
now.
we'll talk now.
But before we get into that, a lot of
Okay.
our viewers won't know you, so give us the elevator pitch.
Okay. So I've been in the talent acquisition space now for almost a decade, which I cannot believe. It's probably longer than a decade. I don't want to add it all up. Came from the practitioner side of the house. Was at Intel, worked there for a very long time, doing talent strategy and talent design work. Then was off doing my own spiel for a while, doing some consulting, working with all sorts of different types of companies. And then landed here at SmartRecruiters, where I've really been kind of working on the intersection between what's really happening in the practitioner side of the house and what are we building from a tech perspective, and got deep in the weeds.
So we see a good amount of practitioners come out of big names like Intel,
Mm-hmm.
and they go into a vendor,
Mhm.
right? And they usually flame out because it is a different world. It is a different world. You've not done that. I mean, you've been in this is. I mean, you've absorbed this. What's the difference? Because there's a huge difference, right? What's made it a little bit more sustainable for you as not just a job, but really, I mean, something that you put your life into from a career standpoint.
Well, I think even when I was on the corporate side of the house, right, kind of living in that practitioner side of the house and the corporate world, I was never one that was kind of just doing one thing all the time.
And
Shifting
you're very
and-
much in the tech too.
That's right. I was very much deep into the tech.
Yeah.
I was always shifting and trying new things. I came from the user design experience and the user experience side of the house. That was what my focus was at.
Yeah.
And so I think now working at a tech company
Yeah.
in a much more specific frame,
Yes.
it allows me the opportunity to do lots of different things,
Yeah.
to pivot around very quickly, which works with my style.
Yeah.
So it's actually probably even a better fit than the corporate world was, and kind of working in a very structured setting.
Nice.
I'm probably dating myself when I say she's the E.F. Hutton of her company. When she speaks, people listen. Because
Yes.
I don't think a lot of
You
vendors
are.
hire people from the actual customer side, and more should do it. I assume that you've been a real benefit
They try.
of being in the
They try.
on the vendor side. Talk about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think I've always, one of the things I was a big proponent of SmartRecruiters before I even came over to the side of the house. That was part of the deal for me, right? I wasn't going to just work for anybody. I think people know that about me. I am pretty frank. I say what I'm thinking.
No.
I know, right? So that's just who I am. I'm not going to not do that. And I think SmartRecruiters has been a company that has been very welcoming of that. They've asked me to say what I think. They've asked me to be part of that conversation. And so, yeah, that's been a big benefit, I think, for both of us, right? I started, when I first came over, started working on the consulting side of the house with them and working with companies to help them understand how to use the tech more effectively. And then quickly pivoted into actually doing services and implementation. And that was all because we quickly realized it wasn't just about kind of quick fix consulting solutions. There was a deeper conversation we need to have about how to actually implement technology, having been on that side of the house and driving that conversation. SmartRecruiters was very open to me having that dialogue. And then that transitioned into, okay, well, here's what people are really trying to do. So let's have a conversation about what type of tech we're building.
So SmartRecruiters is also open to a very large pivot. Now we take a look at the model was built literally on legacy process, right? And you guys have well over 2,000 customers. It's hard, which is why we see a lot of applicant tracking systems, just a lot of platforms. They literally, and we always use the Taleo instance, is that literally they just atrophy and die, you know? But you guys made a huge decision, already being in a specific architecture, already having a portfolio of 2,000 companies and customers, to be able to make that pivot. That is risky as hell. As a comms director, it's got to be somewhat exciting, but also it's risky. Tell us about that change. Why was the change made necessary, and how exciting and or scary was it?
So it wasn't scary, at least to me,
Yeah.
because I like to shake shit up. So I'm going to do that anyway. Here's the deal. I think it was and has been
Uh-huh.
a process of really understanding what people were trying to accomplish with the tech and realizing that we are, because of what technology is now capable of doing,
Mm-hmm.
we're in a once in a generation moment where we can actually do stuff with the technology that we've been talking about as a TA profession, as a human resources profession, literally for decades, right? We've been saying, well, we want to talk about great candidate experience, or we want to talk about being able to engage hiring managers so they can actually understand what and how they're hiring,
Mm-hmm.
provide them insights that are at a moment's notice. These were all things that we were creating technology for and leveraging technology to do, but we had all these workarounds built into it. And it was complex and bloated and frustrating to use. And then at the end of the day, people just weren't using it because you start adding too many components to it. People just go back to the basics and say, whatever, right? I'm just going to do it the way I've always done it.
It's
And I'm not
almost
going to shift and
impossible
change.
to navigate when you have feature bloat at
That's
that
right.
point.
You absolutely can't. So I think having a strong leader come in, and that's, we brought Rebecca in, or, Rebecca came in back into the fold. She had a strong vision, but also a strong enough presence to be able to say, in a sense of kind of where we were in this moment, to say, it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to trust all of you. If you trust me, let's break it and fix it. Let's say, if we didn't do it that way, what would we do?
Yeah.
That's a hard question for anybody to ask or to be really willing to accept the answer to. And then when we all started talking about it and saying, well, what would we do?
Right.
We realized, oh, shoot, we'd do something completely different. Let's do it. So on that level, that part was easy. I think what you're pointing to is a second part, which is really complicated. I can tell you part of these conversations that we're having now and the conversations we're having with our Allyn for AI series across all sorts of different groupings and with customers and with people across the industry who are in this space. It is about that second part of the conversation, which is, if I am already a customer, if I'm already embedded in how we do business today, convincing you, dear customer, convincing you, TA practitioner, that the way we're doing it today may not be the best approach and we can do it a different way. And here's the new technology to do it. That is a whole change management process.
Right.
That is difficult, right? That's a paradigm shift from the normal vendor strategy, which is, dear customer, tell me what you want and I will build it for you as you have asked. Instead, we are looking at it and saying, listen, we've been watching for a long time. We understand where the industry is going, but we also understand what needs to happen in this space. We understand what can be helpful for you. We're going to propose and give you some new options and new ways to do this. And it may not be how you've done it before, and it may put you in some uncomfortable conversations in your own teams.
All right, we will end it there. Allyn, thanks for hanging out with us. And this has been the Chad and Cheese Podcast. I'm Joel Cheeseman. He's Chad Sowash. And this has been the Sessions AI Frontline Series. We out.
We out.